Hey, so I know I haven't done a video in a while, and I was trying to think of how to do one since I haven't done it in a while. Like, I have footage, but I haven't really done anything. So, E3 just happened this week, and I watched all the conferences, and I love it. I've been watching it for the last couple of years now, and really enjoyed it. So I thought I'd talk about what I loved or what I saw at E3 or my opinion or whatever. And these are just my opinions. Just as a filler video until I get other stuff finished filmed and stuff. So we'll talk about them in the order I watched them. It wasn't necessarily the order that the conferences happened, but the first one I watched was the Microsoft one, and so like Xbox, and they announced what Project Scorpio finally was, uh, and they named it Xbox One X. I don't know. I You had a cool name with the Scorpio, or they could have called it the Scorpion or something. I read somewhere that they called it the Xbox One X because the acronym is Xbox, which okay, kind of cool, but still, like, it's such a long name, like, and especially like I thought maybe they would have learned their lesson, like after hearing about like Nintendo going from the Wii to the Wii U, which wasn't the greatest name. They could have gone something more original, but I mean, I guess it's not an all new console. It's just a more powerful Xbox One. So um, it was a better conference than they've had in the past. A lot more trailers, less talking, which I kind of enjoyed. I didn't take too much away from that. Like, I don't own an Xbox currently. I had an Xbox 360 for a while. One of my sister's friends gave me one for nothing, and I enjoyed it. And then I got the Red Ring of Death like a year or so ago. So I had the PS3, so I just switched some of the games over to that. Looking into an Xbox, but I'll probably just get a regular Xbox One. Um, but what else? They talked about backwards compatibility with like the Xbox games, which is cool because there is a couple of like regular Xbox games. I love Harry Potter games for the original Xbox. I think I played Prisoner of Azkaban and something else, and I really enjoyed it on the Xbox. So maybe I'll get it for that. They showed a lot of trailers. They showed a trailer for a game called Anthem, and I'm not into shooters. I'm not good at them at all. But this one looked really really neat. So maybe the sister will get it, and I'll try it, and we'll you know. I think the only big thing I took away from the Microsoft one was like they were talking about Minecraft and crossplay, and I like Minecraft, and if I can crossplay with my sister who's got an Xbox, that'd be awesome instead of having to buy a system. So that was basically the Microsoft conference for me. I think they showed something else. I can't remember, but that's all I really took away from the Xbox One. Then I watched EA, and I'm never really interested in the EA ones because I'm not a sports one. They showed a quick trailer for Anthem, and then of course their big thing was Star Wars Battlefront 2. Uh, if I get a gift, yeah, great. When I bought my PS4, it came with Star Wars Battlefront 1, and I played it and I enjoyed it, but again, I'm not good at shooters. I liked it because I was like just getting into Star Wars when the game came out. Like, I know Star Wars has been out for years. That was the first time I actually sat down and watched all six movies, and then the seventh one came out, and then of course I saw Rogue One when it came out. So Star Wars is only new to me in the last year or so. Um, so that's all I took away from the EA conference. Then I watched Bethesda's, and from what I read online, it was Bethesda thing was a lot more for the people there. Apparently, the way they had it set up was amazing, like an Adventureland and food and drink and concert and stuff. I did like their video because it was really cutesy. It reminded me of just the way they looked. It reminded me of Happy Tree Friends and what was the other one? I had it in my head like a minute ago and I can't think of it. Um, but it was cutesy, and it was fine. They had a lot more trailers for stuff that games I'd probably play. It was a lot of VR, and there was a lot of Skyrim, which is fine. But they showed off that, yeah, they're going to be on the Switch, which I want, but it's going to be a while. And that it would have amiibo support, so that you get like Link skins and stuff. Um, they showed a trailer for Dishonored, the new or a decent no, a new game for Dishonored. I think it ties into the last one. It looked neat. They showed a trailer or a cinematic for Evil Within 2. I didn't play Evil Within. I think I watched some gameplay or my sister play it. It looked cool. I didn't get that much in it. The trailer looks good for the second one, so maybe I'll go back and check out the first one. I think the big one to take away from Bethesda for me was Wolfenstein. Now, I've never played Wolfenstein, but just from the trailer alone for Wolfenstein 2, I really want to play it. And then their big thing was like all the games they showed were like they were all going to be out this year, which I like hearing, which was which was really nice. But I wish I could remember what the cutesy look remind me of, and I can't. So then I watched Ubisoft's uh, conference, or press release or spotlight, whatever they keep calling them different things. I'm just going to call them press conferences. Um, the big change for me for Ubisoft, because I've really liked their conferences the last couple of years, is they didn't have. I'm gonna butcher this name, Aisha Tyler. And I love her. She's funny and she's hilarious, and it gave something to those conferences. And they didn't have her this year, and I was so disappointed. Ubisoft's just felt really meh. Like they had a lot of good trailers, but it was really, really like meh. So they had their normal ones. They had and of course they had Just Dance 2018, and it was like they opened with that last year, and it looked really, really cool. So I don't know. This is just disappointed. They showed what else? A lot of pirate stuff this year. There was Sea of Thieves, and then Skull and Bones. Not anything I think I'd play. Looks cool. I love pirate stuff, but I don't like game. I don't know. Once again, we say South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I love South Park: Stick or Truth. I was so impressed with the game. It went from a a TV show to a game or a movie. You never really does it, but South Park, I bought it, I played it straight through, and then went into a second playthrough almost immediately. I think I almost got all the achievements for it. I loved it. It was just done perfectly. It was done absolutely perfectly. Gaz, go away. Yes, I see you. Okay, go away. So I had South Park Fractured Butthole, pre-order. It was supposed to come out in March, and then it got delayed and delayed. So now they're saying October. I get it here on my hand. October 17th. So I really hope it comes out, because I really want to play it. It was something I absolutely love, so I'm super excited for the new one if and when it finally comes out. They also announced like a mobile game, South Park Phone Destroyer, I think it is. I'd pick it up to try it, if nothing else. What else did they have? Far Cry. I really liked Ubisoft's. They played a little bit of gameplay and they went into a trailer. I haven't played any of those, but I have watched my sister and some of her boyfriends play the other ones and enjoyed it. But I don't know. There's something about Far Cry 5 that makes me really want to play it. They opened Ubisoft with Mario plus Rabbids. I've never played a Rabbids game. I looked at it. It's nice that they're branching out into something different. Not something I'll ever play, but it looked neat. They showed Assassin's Creed Origin. I think I played one, so nothing there. So the big thing from Ubisoft was they showed cinematic for Beyond Good and Evil 2. I think Beyond Good and Evil is something I've heard the name dropped before. Never checked it out. I watched the cinematic. I'm like, holy fuck. So I went back and looked for number one. I think it's something I'm gonna play this year. Beyond Good and Evil 2 looks like it's gonna be a couple of years out, but I love the opening cinematic. So I'm probably gonna check out number one and just wait for this. Like, it's definitely something I want to see. So next, watched Sony, and Sony's usually the one I really really like right away because it's what I the other than Nintendo, it's what I own. I own PlayStation 2 and 4. I actually recently sold my PS2 because it's I wasn't using it, and all the games I had were on my other system, so there just wasn't a point to it. Um, so what was it? They opened. I'm just gonna pause this for a second. Sorry. Yeah. So Sony's conference, they opened with Uncharted, New Legacies, or Legend of Legacies. I don't know. Not an Uncharted fan. Hear good things. It just didn't pull me in. Someone's like, "Well, you play Tomb Raider, so you love Uncharted." And I'm like, I didn't. Maybe I'll try it. I don't know. So I didn't know what it was. It was like, this looks. I don't know. The Sony just had such a strong opening last year that I wanted another strong opening for them because they always have really good conferences. Um, but I was really meh on Sony's conference this year too, which is kind of sad. Uh, we saw lots of VR stuff still, which I thought was really weird about Microsoft because it was such strong. Maybe if it was last year or the year before, they were certainly like Google Glass or their VR. They were really like, it's going to do this, and we're going to have VR on the new Scorpio, which is, the Xbox One X, and nothing this year. Absolutely nothing this year, which is fine. Sony was like lots of VR, Skyrim. They showed us a trailer for Detroit, and that looks neat. I like any of the games where there's lots of choices, and different endings to games. What else? They showed us the remake or remastered of Shadow of the Colossus, which looks amazing, and I think I'd probably play it. I tried Ico, and I love the puzzles to it, but I just got tired of dragging that girl around, and so I didn't finish it. What else? So we saw God of War, Father of War, Dad of War, or whatever you want to call it. Gameplay looked neat. I'd play that. They showed well, my biggest thing that I'm hyped for from the Sony conference was Monster Hunter Worlds, because I only played the Monster Hunter games on the 3DS and really enjoyed them. And I keep saying like, oh, I really want to play a console one, but I don't want to go back because I don't know quality of the game or whatever. But just looking at it for the PS4, I am super psyched for Monster Hunter Worlds on PS4. And then they ended it with the new Spider-Man game, which looks amazing, but not something again I really want to play. What else? So that was pretty much the Sony. The guy that came out, what was his name? Langer. I think it's Sean Langer, from Sony. I think he only came out twice. Um, and that was fine. It was just trailers, which is it's fine. So next I watched Nintendo's, and it's Nintendo Spotlight. So Reggie's a really good personality. Um, for Nintendo. I, you know, so there's always a little neat. They've got little skits in between, but it was all for the Switch. I can understand it's their new console, and I really want one, but yeah, it was all about the Switch, and I don't have the console, so like the games look neat and it makes me want one, but I'll put it off. I looked through their other stuff. The only two 3DS games they announced was a Metroid one and was it Mario? I got it here on my hand. Yeah, I think it was like a Mario and Luigi, like Superstar Saga is getting re-released, but with like a Bowser part to it. But just to run through some of the stuff on like the Nintendo one, like there's a new Yoshi game. The big one that like everybody's hyped over is Metroid Prime 4. Didn't really get into the Metroids, but I am happy to see that there's a new one. New Kirby game, Splatoon 2 is what I really want. And of course, they showed off Super Mario Odyssey, which looks really, really nice. I'd play it. I'm not a Mario fan. I like Super Mario RPG, and I think the only Mario game I've actually ever beaten was Super Mario Galaxy. I didn't like Galaxy 2. but I really really like Super Mario Galaxy. So Odyssey kind of reminds me of that. So um, I'd get it if and when I get a Switch. And then of course they announced DLC for Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which looks neat. So that was pretty much from Nintendo. And then of course it wasn't really a press conference; it was more like a live stream and trailers. But I watched the Square Enix one, and that was pretty much a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff, which I love. And another trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 that they claim once again is coming out this year or next year, and everybody's just like, yeah, we've been at that for years now. So I enjoyed it. I enjoy watching these conferences every year. It gets me hype. I make a little list and like I want these games. I want to play them. And you know what? I think I picked up and played every game that I wanted to from watching the conference last year, and actually really enjoyed the ones I was psyched for. I don't think I was really disappointed with any of the ones that I really wanted. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that stood out from any of the conferences. I don't remember which one had it, but there was one that was called, I think it was called Breakout or Escape or something. It was a prison one that was a like a couch co-op where you're two guys getting out of prison, but the way it was set up was really neat. So like one could be in a cutscene and one could be doing something else like a mission or trying to distract something or something, and it looked really really neat. Cuphead for like I think the third or fourth year now. They've been like, oh, Cuphead's coming, and they gave a date, but who knows if that's gonna come out. I like the style and the aesthetic, but I don't think it's one I'll play. Maybe I'll watch someone play it. But yeah, so that was E3 again. Just what I observed and what I was psyched for. On a whole, I thought E3 just from the videos I watched it was very meh this year. Usually I'm like way more psyched for stuff, and I don't know. I know this was the first year that they let the public in, so I don't know if that affected anything. It shouldn't. It lacked a wow factor this year. I think. Well, who knows? Anyways, yeah. So good night.